Hours organisation in the spotlight over patient care speaks out.
Take Care Now provides evening and weekend medical cover in parts of Essex, all of Suffolk and parts of Norfolk. Until yesterday, it also had a contract for parts of Cambridgeshire, but it was sacked by the NHS following the death of a patient and a catalogue of complaints. Tonight we hear from Take Care Now for the first time. First, Debbie Tubby is here with more details.
Susie, it was the death of David Gray which has led to NHS Cambridgeshire terminating its contract with Take Care Now. He died minutes after one of its doctors, Daniel Mbani, injected him with 10 times the normal maximum dose of a pain-killing drug. Since then, NHS Cambridgeshire has carried out 33 unannounced inspections on Take Care Now. A health watchdog report stressed concerns over unfilled shifts. We've reported other people's problems too, and you've been contacting us with your stories. Angela Adams says she phoned the out-of-hours service for her 83-year-old mother. A doctor visited 8 hours after the initial call, despite her being classed as an emergency. She says the whole service was a shambles from start to finish. It left us feeling frustrated. Sheila Wright from Wickham Market phoned Take Care Now for her husband, Brian. The doctor said there was nothing wrong with him and to visit his GP after the weekend. On the Monday, he was admitted straight to hospital with a blood clot on his thigh and lung. He is now well.
Frankly, I would never use them again. That could have been a life and death situation. Our experience was they weren't where they should be for my husband, and that's just not good enough. We are entitled to this service, may I add, and I mean entitled.
We've also had an email from a call handler who works for Take Care Now. He says they're committed to dealing with callers efficiently. They too get upset when someone is ill and they have to wait for a doctor. He also points out there are a number of people who ring them unnecessarily. And Gordon Woodhead is full of praise for the out-of-hours service. He says the doctor's prompt action gave them an extra 6 months with their daughter. Take Care Now says it has 4 practising GPs on its board of directors and more than 14 years of experience in delivering out-of-hours services. Susie.
Debbie, thank you. Well, earlier I spoke to Dr. Graeme Kelvin, the chairman of Take Care Now. I asked for his reaction to the decision by NHS Cambridgeshire to end their contract. He said he was disappointed, but he defended TCN's record.
We do fundamentally disagree with the stance that Cambridge have taken. They have a particular view of the kind of service that they want to provide for their patients, which is basically a rather more fixed model than the kind of delivery service that we've developed over many years of experience of doing out-of-hours care.
I accept that you have many years of experience, but so does the NHS have many years of experience of doing out-of-hours care. And one of the complaints that we've been hearing, and this isn't just recently, it's over recent years, is that there aren't enough doctors actually on the ground to cope with the amount of calls that are coming in out of hours.
Well, I think the level of service that is demanded out of hours is, of course, very, very variable. And on occasions, we have seen a 40% surge in call rates on a particular weekend. And therefore, there are times at which the service is stretched. And I would not be being honest if I said otherwise. However, for the vast majority of the time, we are able to provide an excellent level of service, and that is echoed by independent surveys that we have ourselves had commissioned about patient experiences. And over 90% of people who deal with TCN have a good experience of out-of-hours care delivered by both our doctors and our other healthcare workers. That includes nurses and ECPs, emergency care practitioners.
It's not just patients that we've heard negative things from. We've also heard from 2 GPs, one specifically in Suffolk, who wrote to us anonymously saying how worried many of the GPs he knows in the county are about the level of service, and another who's actually said that there was one doctor on call with TCN to cover the whole of Suffolk overnight.
That is not the normal situation, and our level of cover is actually superior to the level of a lot of cover provided by many other out-of-hours providers. I think that the difficulties which there are in providing out-of-hours care is not so related to an issue with TCN. It's an issue related to systematic problems within the out-of-hours service that is happening in out-of-hours now.
In the light of NHS Cambridgeshire's decision, can you reassure the patients who are still covered by TCN that it is safe to use the service and you will respond to an emergency within the hour that you're meant to respond?
I can give absolute reassurance to all people who are looked after by TCN that we strive continually to provide the very best service that we can. We have a history of exceeding the national quality requirements that are required of an out-of-hours service. We have regular weekly analysis of all the contacts that we perform and the statistics about how we're doing and how we're responding. So yes, I can give total reassurance that that TCN remains completely focused on the thing that matters, which is providing the best quality of care that we can possibly do.
Dr. Graeme Kelvin speaking to Susie a short time ago. The body of Regimental Sergeant Major Darren Chant, who lived in Luton, was flown home today. He was one of 5 men shot dead in Afghanistan last week when a policeman opened fire on soldiers inside their compound. His mother travelled from Great Yarmouth to watch him come home.
Liz Chant watched the transport plane carrying the body of her second-born son fly into RAF Lyneham after the long journey from Camp Bastion. Darren Chant died alongside 4 other colleagues at the hands of an Afghan policeman they were training. In his mother's words, her hero shot dead by a coward. The 40-year-old career soldier's coffin was the first to be carried from the plane. He'd served in many campaigns, from Northern Ireland and Kosovo to Iraq, and this his second tour in Afghanistan.
He didn't see any danger. If a boy was getting shot at, he'd be in front of that boy. And he said, you know, the wars in the world, if we're sent there, I'll be first to go. I'll be first in line to get out there.
This afternoon, the hearse carrying his body led the way from RAF Lyneham to the nearby town of Wootton Bassett. Hundreds lining the route to pay their respects to all 6 soldiers returning home. On the day that he died, RSM Chant was to have been told he'd been awarded a commission as captain in the Grenadier Guards.
Generally, he was a family man, a loving family man, and never moaned about anything. Always got a joke and we used to fall about laughing. The things he used to come out with. He was never unhappy, never. And he lived for his children and the army.
Darren Chant's second wife, now Sheen, whom he married in August, was carrying his unborn son. The family say when he grows up, he'll learn all about his father and his many acts of courage. Kim Riley, BBC Look East.